everyone, my name is Sarah Cary and I'm a former Foreign Service Specialist. I used to travel the world and I had a girlfriend contact me recently. She's been married for years and years and just wasn't used to or comfortable with traveling alone. She found herself in a position where she had to travel alone intercontinentally, and she pinged me a message on Facebook and she just asked me this question, and she said, I haven't traveled in years by myself and I just feel like I need some tips. Do you mind telling me what to do? And of course, I took a moment and I thought, wow, people really do feel like they need tips to be safe when they're traveling, especially women, whether they're married or single. So I sort of took that for granted, and I thought I would make a video today about simple tips how to travel safely if you haven't traveled alone for a long time. Number one, know your itinerary. Have it printed out, have it on your phone. Of course, this is personal information. You're not going to want to put this on social media. That's another big thing. The rule of thumb is don't post where you're going until after you've already arrived or you're already leaving and going on to your next destination. If you are a social media person and you love to update your activities, especially if you're a celebrity and you don't really want everybody to know your business, you're gonna have to use some self-control and wait to post where you're going in your itinerary until you've actually arrived or you're leaving, preferably. Likewise, know your itinerary. What stops are you taking? Where's your connecting flight? How much time do you have? Do a little studying before you go. Some things you won't know until you arrive, for instance, at your connecting flight airport. Make a beeline, go straight to the screens that will show you what gate your connecting flight is departing out of, know how much time you have, and head on over to that gate. And don't take any chances running late, especially if you have a connecting flight that has a short duration period. So whatever that means for you, know your itinerary. That's rule number one. Rule number two of how to stay safe when traveling as a female is to know your baggage restrictions of the airline you'll be flying with, or the baggage restrictions of the train or whatever mode of transportation you'll be taking, which is most likely an airline. Know those restrictions. What are the measurements for a carry-on bag and for luggage? Take a tape measure and measure which one are you going to be taking, which one does your belongings fit into, and know that sometimes there's most likely a baggage fee for that extra bag and there's extra fees for overweight. So you want to take your home scale and weigh that puppy first before you get to the check-in ticketing counter, because you don't want any surprises. This is important, I feel, for security, because it's going to give you the confidence before you even get to the airport that your baggage is within the regulations, you know your itinerary, so you are able to travel and walk up to the ticketing counter and later to the security gate with full confidence that you're within all of the regulations and you don't have any surprise fees, which gives you more opportunity and more time to pay attention to what you need to be paying attention to, which is not your luggage and not fees, but your person and your belongings. The third rule I would have is, if you have questions, if you find yourself having questions about things that come up, or you're not sure how to get ground transportation after you land, which is completely understandable, or maybe you have a question about where the baggage terminal is or customs, make sure that you never ask a stranger for information. Even though you may think that you have the skill to approach a person who's well-meaning or looks nice, better to just play it safe and always ask an official of the airport for information. There are so many opportunities to ask officials at the airport. You can usually identify them by uniform, even if it's somebody who works for a taxi company. If I had to choose between a stranger and a person at a taxi counter, even if I don't want a taxi and I really just want to find the metro, I would always ask somebody who is an official. Alright, rule number 4, and this goes back to our lovely topic of baggage, but let's face it, that's usually what we're protecting. So rule number 4 in how to travel safely as a woman is keep your baggage and your belongings within eyesight the entire time. Even if you need to use the restroom or do something like get a sip of water, or you're buying a lunch on the go or a meal on the go, you want to make sure that you can see your luggage and see your purse at all times and just keep it within eyesight. Consider it an extra limb. You don't want to be the girl who, when she was 16, decided to wash her face in a Brazilian airport and lost her money as a result. Rule number 5, lastly, is to just stay alert. I, by nature, am somebody who is pretty observant and alert. Add on to that all the training that I had in security before going through diplomatic security training. I'm extra alert. But for the average traveler who is not as alert, or maybe you're a mother and you're used to paying attention to other things, consider this your new motherhood. You need to be alert and watching your activities and the activities of others on a moderately aware level. If this is a time for you to sit back, relax, and enjoy, read a book, or lose yourself in a book during your airplane ride, that's great. But save that for when you're in your seat, buckled in, and you've already established yourself on the plane or on the train or otherwise. Little tip, don't ever lose your ticket or your seat assignment, whatever stub that's printed on. That's going to be very important if you need to get up, say use the restroom, and you feel a little disoriented because this video is for people who aren't used to traveling. Hold on to that ticket at all times. Back to staying alert. You don't need to be on Mission Impossible, crazy alert status. I love travel, and travel can be a wonderful experience. This gives you the time. Sometimes I daydream when I'm flying through the clouds. I write. I'm so inspired when I travel, and that's great. I would never want to take that away from anyone, but I don't want you to be panicked either. I just want you to be alert and be aware of your surroundings throughout the times that you're preparing to get into that seat and do the actual traveling. Another little tip is your main goal is to get through security. Once you get through security, you're golden. You don't have as much to worry about. So if you do find yourself a little panicked and you feel unsettled, even after watching this video and doing all of your preparation, you will be fine as long as you just get past security and get to that gate. After that, it's smooth sailing. Another question that I was asked was, should I carry pepper spray or mace? Now, I'm not an official security trainer or instructor by any means. I'm just talking from experience. What I do is I never plan a travel itinerary where I'll be arriving at night in a parking garage alone. If you do, and you happen to have, by an emergency, there's a delayed flight, and you happen to find yourself arriving back later than you had hoped, yeah, use that pepper spray that you have with you. Try to avoid any situation where you'll be alone at night, departing for a flight or returning. And of course, I think this goes without saying, tell your loved one your status as you move along. I'm boarding the flight. We're taking off. Love you, bye. I arrived. I'm at this address where I'll be staying. And that's definitely going to make both you and your loved ones feel like everything is on track and they can rest easy. Those are my top 5 tips for a female to stay safe when she's traveling. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments below. Remember, I am not an official security instructor. I'm just a girl who traveled for years and years, and I collected these personal tips. These are my top 5. There are many more. If you want more, let me know, and I'll be happy to upload another video. Thanks, and travel safe.